Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Celebrity Net Worth. On this video, we will be going over Mike Tyson's net worth. Make sure to stay till the end of this video to find out how much this celebrity is worth. If you're new to this channel or if you haven't done so yet, make sure to hit that subscribe button and smash the like button. In this video, we will be talking about a boxing legend. Yes, you heard it right, that boxing legend is none other than the Iron Mike Tyson. He surely dominated boxing in his time. He made a huge sum of cash from boxing. So how is he now? Do you think his net worth is the same as before he retired from boxing? Let's check it out. But before that, let's do a little background check about the legend. Here we go. Michael Gerard Tyson, or simply Mike Tyson, is an American former professional boxer who competed from 1985 to 2005. He was born on June 30th, 1966 in Brownsville, Brooklyn, New York. He has an older brother named Rodney and an older sister named Denise, who died of a heart attack at age 24 in February 1990. Tyson's biological father is listed as Purcell Tyson, who was from Jamaica, on his birth certificate, but the man Tyson had known as his father was Jimmy Kirkpatrick. Kirkpatrick was from Grier Town, North Carolina, a predominantly black neighborhood that was annexed by the city of Charlotte, where he was one of the neighborhood's top baseball players. Kirkpatrick married and had a son, Tyson's half-brother Jimmy Lee Kirkpatrick, who would help to integrate Charlotte high school football in 1965. In 1959, Jimmy Kirkpatrick left his family and moved to Brooklyn, where he met Tyson's mother, Lorna Mae Smith Tyson. Kirkpatrick frequented pool halls, gambled, and hung out on the streets. Kirkpatrick abandoned the Tyson family around the time Mike was born, leaving Tyson's mother to care for the children on her own. Kirkpatrick died in 1992. The family lived in Bedford-Stuyvesant until financial burdens necessitated a move to Brownsville when Tyson was 10 years old. Tyson's mother died 6 years later, leaving 16-year-old Tyson in the care of boxing manager and trainer Cus D'Amato, who would become his legal guardian. Throughout his childhood, Tyson lived in and around neighborhoods with a high rate of crime. According to an interview and details, his first fight was with a bigger youth who had pulled the head off one of Tyson's pigeons. Tyson was repeatedly caught committing petty crimes and fighting those who ridiculed his high-pitched voice and lisp. By the age of 13, he had been arrested 38 times. He ended up at the Tryon School for Boys in Johnston, New York. Tyson's emerging boxing ability was discovered there by Bobby Stewart, a juvenile detention center counselor and former boxer. Stewart considered Tyson to be an outstanding fighter and trained him for a few months before introducing him to Cus D'Amato. Tyson dropped out of high school as a junior. He would be awarded an honorary doctorate in humane letters from Central State University in 1989. Kevin Rooney also trained Tyson, and he was occasionally assisted by Teddy Atlas, although Atlas was dismissed by D'Amato when Tyson was 15. Rooney eventually took over all training duties for the young fighter. In 1992, Tyson was convicted for rape and sentenced to 6 years in prison, although he was released on parole after 3 years. After his release in 1995, he engaged in a series of comeback fights. He won the WBC and WBA titles in 1996 after stopping Frank Bruno and Bruce Seldon. With his defeat of Bruno, Tyson joined Floyd Patterson, Muhammad Ali, Tim Weatherspoon, Evander Holyfield, and George Foreman as the only men in boxing history to have regained a heavyweight championship after having lost it. After being stripped of the WBC title in the same year, Tyson lost the WBA title to Evander Holyfield by an 11th round stoppage. Their 1997 rematch ended when Tyson was disqualified for biting Holyfield's ears. In 2002, Tyson fought for the world heavyweight title again at the age of 35, losing by knockout to Lennox Lewis. Tyson retired from professional boxing in 2006 after being knocked out in consecutive matches against journeyman Danny Williams and Kevin McBride. Tyson declared bankruptcy in 2003, despite having received over $30 million for several of his fights and $300 million during his career. At the time, the media reported that he had approximately $23 million of debt. Tyson was known for his ferocious and intimidating boxing style, as well as his controversial behavior inside and outside the ring. Nicknamed Iron and Kid Dynamite in his early career, and later known as the baddest man on the planet, Tyson is considered one of the best heavyweights of all time. Tyson holds the third longest unified championship reign in heavyweight history at 8 consecutive defenses. He currently ranks number 14 in BoxRec's ranking of the greatest heavyweight boxers in history. He was ranked number 16 on the Ring's list of 100 greatest punchers of all time, and number 1 in the ESPN.com list of the hardest hitters in heavyweight history. Sky Sports describe him as perhaps the most ferocious fighter to step into a professional ring. He has been inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame and the World Boxing Hall of Fame. Tyson won his first 19 professional fights by knockout, 12 of them in the first round. He won the WBC title in 1986 after stopping Trevor Berbick in the second round and added the WBA and IBF titles after defeating James Smith and Tony Tucker in 1987. This made Tyson the first heavyweight boxer to simultaneously hold the WBA, WBC, and IBF titles, and the only heavyweight to successfully unify them. He reigned as the undisputed world heavyweight champion and holds the record as the youngest boxer to win a heavyweight title at 20 years, 4 months, and 22 days old. Mike has been married 3 times. He has 6 children, he is Muslim, and practices sobriety. During his career, Mike Tyson earned at least $430 million in purses and endorsements, roughly $700 million after adjusting for inflation. Although Tyson was a talented boxer, his reputation was marred by controversy in and out of the ring. In 1987, Mike signed a $27 million 8-fight contract with HBO that ran through his bout against Alex Stewart. Tyson defeated Alex Stewart in 2 minutes and 27 seconds. He then signed a long-term $120 million contract with Showtime that covered several matches including Holyfield 1 and 2. For years, it has been widely understood that a large chunk of his earnings, at least his pay-per-view earnings, were taken by promoter Don King. A court case would later reveal that Mike's contract with King entitled the promoter to 30% of his earnings. This was technically illegal in Nevada. It's been alleged that after mysterious additional fees, Don would take 50% off the top before cutting a check to Mike. Example fees would include $100,000 per fight to Don King's wife as a consultant fee. Don King's sons were also paid $50,000 per fight for consulting fees. At his peak, Mike was paying the president of the Mike Tyson fan club $1,000 per week. The president turned out to be Don King's daughter. At other times, his earnings were garnished by creditors like the IRS. For example, Tyson was paid $8 million to fight Danny Williams in 2004. Unfortunately, $6 million of those earnings were directly garnished by the IRS, leaving Mike with $2 million personally for his efforts. Mike lived a famously lavish lifestyle at his peak. He wasted millions on mansions, cars, jewelry, extravagant gifts for strangers, and even a collection of Bengal tigers. His tigers cost $70,000 a pop and were housed in a custom-built habitat in his backyard. Mike kept an animal trainer on staff at a cost of $125,000 a year. Mike lavished money on his entourage as well. As just one example, he kept the person on staff whose sole purpose was to wear army fatigues and shout "guerrilla warfare" at press conferences. For his services, this person was paid $300,000 per year. Mike was imprisoned between 1991 and 1995. In the 3 years immediately following his release, Mike spent the following amount: $4.5 million on cars and motorbikes, 19 vehicles he bought for friends, $400,000 on pigeons, and a variety of big cats such as Siberian tigers, $300,000 on lawn care and garden maintenance alone, $240,000 per month for walking around money that he spent in daily life flexing, $230,000 on cell phones, pagers, and phone bills, $125,000 per year for an animal trainer to take care of the big cats, $100,000 per month on jewelry and clothes. Whew, that is a lot of spending. He has also bought several homes. His 21-room Connecticut mansion would later be owned by 50 Cent. This mansion featured a nightclub and casino. Mike also bought houses in Las Vegas, Ohio, and Maryland. His Ohio mansion featured gold-plated furnishings, pools, and a basketball court. His $4 million Las Vegas property featured an 11,000-square-foot mansion that he proceeded to remodel from scratch. Mike has owned well over 100 cars during his lifetime. Some were extremely valuable and rare. He owned a Bentley that was one of 73 total produced and cost $500,000. After totaling a Range Rover in 1995, he told the repair shop to keep it. He would frequently lend cars to friends and acquaintances, then forget about them. He bought 20 cars at one Las Vegas dealership alone. That dealership, Jim Chason Motors, is where Mike spent $1.5 million in a few minutes in one day, buying 5 Bentley Azures. The dealership only had 2 in stock and had to order the remaining 5 fast-tracked from Rolls-Royce. One of the most outlandish purchases Tyson ever made was a $2 million golden bathtub for his first wife, actress Robin Givens. According to legend, he would periodically buy strangers lavish gifts like $100,000 watches. Mike has called Las Vegas home for much of the last 2 decades. In Vegas, he earns a healthy living making personal appearances at parties and corporate events. Mike charges $75,000 for a 2-hour personal appearance. Tyson has starred or held minor roles in a number of movies, most notably in the Hangover film franchise. He even had his own animated TV show called Mike Tyson Mysteries. More recently, he produces a podcast called Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, which is one of the more popular combat sports-related podcasts out there. Hinted in that title, Tyson has cannabis to thank for his financial recovery. He runs his own weed ranch called the Tyson Ranch, where he grows and sells his own brand of weed as well as weed-based wellness products. Cheat Sheet says that the Tyson Ranch sells over $500,000 worth of weed a month, but that Tyson smokes $40,000 worth with his guests. According to the Los Angeles Times, he was demanding $2 million per fight in 1987 and earned $35 million in boxing purses in 1988. After growing up in poverty, that was a major change for Iron Mike. Once he had money, however, he wasn't shy about spending it. His purchases ranged from the cliché like jewelry and cars to the cartoonish like some pet tigers. On one occasion, however, Tyson splashed out for his then-wife Robin Givens' birthday. Not only did he throw her a $410,000 party, but he gifted her a $2 million bathtub. Although it's not clear what warranted that price tag, it had to be incredibly luxurious. We will now reveal his net worth. But before that, don't forget to comment below which celebrity you'd like to see next time on Celebrity Net Worth. Here we go. Mike Tyson's net worth is $3 million. He went down from the 100 millions mark, but he's still in the millions. That's all for boxing legend Mike Tyson. See you in the next video.